What is going on, everybody? It is August 29th. We are almost out of August.
What is going on, everybody?
Cardone
It is
corner.
August
You're
29th. We are almost.
echo. Oh, it's because you probably have do you have the YouTube open in another tab? That's probably why, Gary. But guys, I want to do an AMA with Gary today. I think we've done these once or twice before. We don't do them too often. I want to start doing them more because you guys, one, request them a lot in the comments and on Twitter, on YouTube. So I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to essentially just spend an hour with us and steer the conversation for us. So I can open up. If Gary, your audio problem, did it get fixed? Are you all good? Am I still echoing? You can hear me? Oh, but I can't hear you now. So unmute yourself.
You are perfect, bro. Good morning to you, by the way. And that is a brilliant shirt. I mean, I haven't seen that. Let everybody see it, dude.
So this is so what's funny is this shirt was a gift. It's called Retro Rifle, and they're really comfortable, and all their shirts have this one that's not so hidden, but a lot of them have just hidden little guns in there and stuff. So I just thought they're pretty cool. So I can definitely, if you like these shirts, I can get you some. They're pretty neat.
I like it on you, man. I don't
Okay,
think
good
I can
deal.
pull it off.
Good deal. Well said. Well, I see you have up Future of Fairmont's question. Gary, thank you a lot. Maybe we are seeing a very slow unwind in BTC price volatility. Is digital gold, BTC might end up worth a pound of gold. Too weird for Bitcoin to end up worth a pound of gold. Is that possible?
A pound of gold would be 16 ounces times 2,500, 25. 38, 40 grand, 35 grand,
Yeah,
something
40
like
grand. 40 grand,
yeah, it's already exceeded that. Not quite sure I fully understand the question, but yeah, it's a weird world for sure. I didn't mean to stop where you were headed.
Well, did you finish that book that you were reading? Was it called The Giver or
The Go Giver?
The Go Giver. Did you finish that?
Awesome book, dude.
I wanted to ask you just real briefly what you learned from that book. That was going to be my big question for you.
Well,
what was it about? What made you pick it up? And
somebody sent it to me. In fact, I don't know who sent it to me. So if somebody knows that you sent this Go Giver book, what's in it? Arthur, but I like these small, short books that tell a story about the motives behind doing anything. I think the motives behind doing anything, building a business, finding a girlfriend or buddies or whatever, I think that's the really important part. Hey, what's the motive you're trying to achieve? And this whole Go Giver thing was, instead of constantly thinking about what you're going to get, actually try to bring a solution to everyone and not expect anything back. So it's a really it was a very good book, and I'll probably reread it. It's these simple little stories that sometimes I have to reread a couple of times to go, oh wow, that's awesome. And very interesting that it came to me as I've been running some of these shows on Saturdays and Sundays about us changing the way we approach life and problem solving. So it's kind of really interesting how some of these books come into your life. When someone gives me a book, I most certainly always read it, because I'm like, okay, someone sees something in me and they want to give me something. So.
And did the book walk you through kind of different examples of people giving and what happened after they gave, or was it kind of more psychological, like here's what happens when you give?
I think everyone should grab the book, The Go Giver, and discover it for themselves. I think that it's a very good way to look at the world. So I'm gonna just end it there because I don't want to influence the way people might look at it.
No, I get that completely. We got an interesting question from Cryptic Sound. who's, I guess, a millennial. And he said, hey, from a millennial that's working a 9 to 5, give me a solid investing strategy for people in my age bracket living paycheck to paycheck. Also, you don't owe me any bucks for that lighter. This is fire. I don't know what that last comment means, but I guess his overall question is, millennial, which means he's anywhere from 25 to 40, I guess now, living paycheck to paycheck. How do you get involved with PTC or investing in general?
9 to 5. If I'm competing with you, sir, and you're working 9 to 5 and I'm working 7 to 8, who's going to win the game? So what I would say to you is if you're doing a 9 to 5, you need to find another 20 to 30 hours to generate income. Just doing the 40-hour, 35-hour work week is not going to get you out of the bell curve of average. It's down to that. It's simply down to that. We can make all this about Bitcoin and everything. You ain't working enough, dude. You either got to work more or charge more for what you're doing. 9 to 5 normally doesn't come with, hey, charge whatever you want. Most people never establish the value they place on their own time. I don't know anyone, very few people I know have ever sat down and said, my time is worth X dollars and cents, period. And when you start looking at that, you may treat your time differently and what you do differently. That'd be my input on that question.
What do you think of the 9 to 5? Do you think the 9 to 5 is efficient for a society or for an economy in general?
I think you will lose massively if you're 9 to 5. You're going to accomplish very little at 9 to 5. One, we're no longer hey, everything rolls around the United States. We are in many ways very globalized, but fractured. So therefore we have more competition than ever before, meaning you and I. And the more connectivity we have, the more computing power we have. Like I was just on a podcast or a conversation with 2 guys from India. They agree wholeheartedly with me that this fractured world and AI being introduced to it and crypto literally will reduce the arbitrage play between high labor cost and low labor cost countries. Like India is going to get screwed here, right? Because AI is going to fill in a gap, bringing everyone's IQ up and everyone's prices and costs down, which is really fascinating. So if they think that arbitrage is going away, where you're no longer outsourcing jobs from America to India, which I agree with, then one, it tells me it offers a lot of opportunity. Because, and two, now how are they handling their situation? They're buying crude oil $30 off market, 20 and 30% discounts. So they're doing well. They're taking advantage of this little new global chessboard that's being reshuffled. The global macro commercial and political world is literally shifting sands right now. This chessboard is absolutely changing. It'll be written about in history. What's happening right now. This is like we're reading about, Alexander the Great did all that. This is happening right now. They're going to write books forever about this age. This is probably the biggest single event. By this, I mean digitization, globalization, but fractured globalization, AI, leveling the cost base of everything, and also raising the average IQ. The average IQ is 75 or something. It's 100 in the United States. If somebody with 100 IQ is able to use AI, and because they have some ambition, more ambition than maybe a 140 IQ guy, does that give the 100 IQ person an opportunity for the first time in his life to compete with the 140? I say it does. if it's socialized properly, okay, if it's really made available on an all-in basis, like Toys R Us and the price for Toys R Us for everybody, man, everybody gets to buy the toy at the same price. I think that has to be good for humanity if we do not have governments intervening and picking winners and losers. This is an awesome opportunity. And that's before you get to Bitcoin. So anybody that's like looking at Bitcoin, if you don't understand the implications that we're going to go use robots, and robots are not going, it's the best way I can example. Like I believe by the end of within a year, I'm going to have a robot that works here that cleans my coffee machine and does some really minimal task. He's not, and I think you'll have one too, Sam, right? I mean, I get a robot to walk my dogs every day perfectly. My dogs, they will have heel, sit, do, like it'll be very consistent. It will not be the way my children or I walk the dogs, which is random variables. Just that alone, that's a good value, dude. If you can buy a robot to do that, I think they're not going to move this kind of stuff between all the robots. Okay, they're not. They're going to do digits, man. And most people don't even play with this anymore. But most certainly the robots will not use that. They'll use digits. They'll use Dogecoin, XRP. Well, I don't know what they're going to use. I'm not promoting any of those. They're going to use something other. They might use a CBDC. So all I know is that the world is changing and that I need to look forward in the 10 years. That was what's so amazing about the Scaramucci Jackson Hole symposium thing. Dude, there were some major players going, we're building for 4 to 8 years. We're now thinking no longer about, oh, we need to do this token. Now it's like, hey, what is the liquidity of tokens going to be in the year 2030? I mean, these people are taking it to the next level.
Yeah, very long term.
Yeah. So they see what's happening here, okay? They're doing it a little bit more subtly than the Max Kaisers of the world, who were like, hey, we're taking over the whole planet, right? We are taking over the whole planet, but man, it is a monster table. There's 800. This is the way these guys are now thinking. It's $800 trillion. Bitcoin and AI go after all of it. It's just how long? 10 years, 15, 20 years? Most mature players are really comfortable that it takes a long time. Like, I love that it takes a long time. That means I get to play in this game for 10 or 15, 20 years. That's an entire career. Like a guy like you, like in 5 years, dude, you will be one of the foremost leaders in the digital revolution. And nobody will ever remember, oh, you started with Cardone, whenever you started, right? They're not going to remember it. They don't care, dude. Oh, you've been here 5 fucking years, dude? Whoa. You'll be more relevant than the guy that's been here 22 years because you will live through this really severe adoption of a new product by the entire planet. Nobody from India ever called me to do an interview about natural gas. I got a whole group of people in India, 3 million followers or something, and they're talking, what are we talking about? Bitcoin and AI. So if you don't think this is like, it's a big deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think you've said this before, and I think it's still true. Who knows how many people will even know that they're using it, whether that's AI or have investments in Bitcoin. Like you've said it about Congress, they'll probably have it in their investment accounts in some ETF and some brokerage, and they're not even going to know.
Yeah.
We had a Cryptic Sound respond to your 9 to 5 question. He just said, hey, I work 9 to 5 and have my own business outside of that. I just consider my 9 to 5 what I'm surviving on. Business could go under tomorrow, but absolutely agree, work more.
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. And, there'll come a time when evidently, Sam, it's not sending it to Rumble or something. Not to stop the podcast or anything. I just
today was our first test for Rumble. We set up
sure.
your Rumble account, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I don't even know how to use Rumble. I was looking at it last night. Good luck on your business, man. And there'll be a time when if the business is really sustainable and scalable, you'll have to, switch. There comes a time when you have to take the leap. But good luck. Good luck to you. Now somebody asked me something about Clean Spark. Do you see that? I think
Clean
somebody
Spark?
picked. Pardon?
About Clean Spark?
Yeah, I think it was Henry. Oh, Henry says, Gary, good call on Clean Spark. So I picked up a chunk of Clean Spark yesterday at 10. My bank filled me at 1062, dude. Let's see, what is Clean Spark at right this second? Clean Spark is they filled me at 1062. The low price yesterday on Coinbase was 1056.
Wow.
And I got a little chunk of volume. It's at 1136 this morning, dude. Okay, that's up 7%. It's a 70-cent move. And it's it's not an insignificant, it's not a massive volume, but it's not insignificant. It's like a $35,000 profit in a day. So that's what Henry's talking about. Look, I think these miners are just getting ready to like explode. I will say this is high risk shit. I wouldn't like get all jacked up over it if I were you. This is some money that I could not put into Bitcoin. And had I been able to put it into Bitcoin, I could have put it in a MicroStrategy. That's an interesting question I would ask back to the audience. Hey, CleanSpark MicroStrategy here. For me, it was MicroStrategies. I think MicroStrategy is going to be an awesome company to invest in. I think I'm going to regret not having a shitload of MicroStrategy. I could have bought it at $300 and I bought Bitcoin and some other, well, not really other things. I bought Bitcoin, so I'll be fine. Yeah, so the CleanSpark.
Is it too late to get into MicroStrategy?
No.
Is that what?
I don't think so. I mean, if you're buying the miners here, the cool thing about MicroStrategy, if you look at the way it breaks down, when it breaks down less than anything. So people really, and it's really had a lot of new institutional money come into it because they want that leveraged access to Bitcoin without the Bitcoin. And they don't want they may not want the ETF. I think a lot of people thought MicroStrategy shareholders were going to move from MicroStrategy to the ETF. I'm sure some of that happened, but it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's getting the vast premium over Bitcoin, miners, or the ETFs. If anybody has a disagreement on that, let me know. Also, what do you think? CleanSpark 1 year, MicroStrategy 1 year, what's the better investment? And assume these investments, when I look at them, they're meaningful. Okay, they're like, oh wow, if that goes bad, that's a lot. They're not $10 bets, right? I mean, just now you've had in 12 hours $35,000 move. Most people are not comfortable with that on one stock. Man, I kind of like it. It's exciting. Beats soap operas. But you got to be built for it, okay? You got to be built for it. Let's see. What's this cat?
Yeah, he says, I just sat in a meeting that tens, if not hundreds of billions in government infrastructure loans haven't even been approved yet. Inflation incoming.
Inflation incoming? Why would that be inflation?
I'm assuming
why would that be inflationary?
He's assuming that money's going to flood in from the loans. So more money from the loans, I think he's saying, will create inflation. That's how I take it.
Yeah, but they're government loans. So hey, we gotta build bridges. We have to remake the bridges, and we have to fix the 80-year-old dams that literally are 30 years past their buy-sell date. Like, infrastructure has to get replaced, guys. India has to build all theirs brand new. We have to redo ours because it's too old. Think about Rome and the Colosseum and the Vatican. Do you know how expensive it is to continue to repair these artifacts that are 500 years old? Okay. And there's no workforce there. This is why the robot thing becomes really important because, like, who's going to clean up the Colosseum? Just think of Italy, dude. Who's going to clean the Colosseums that probably are the biggest source of income for Italy, other than olives, is travel and vacations and all the artifacts they have, people seeing them? Well, if they're dirty, nobody's going to go see them. If they're crumbling, and by the way, every day they get older, more difficult and more expensive to keep up. So this is where robotics come in and AI, like that. It could save the day. Otherwise, you need to destroy all those artifacts and never take care of them again. And that's like destroying history, right? So it's this. If we're careful, we're going to like thread the eye of the needle between old legacy world and all the expense of keeping it up, and then move into this digital world. There's going to be some losses, but you can't just leave all this stuff behind and not fix it.
300 million a year, by the way, to upkeep the Vatican. That's 300 million a year for the Vatican. Just the Vatican.
Just the Vatican. Okay. That's not the Colosseum. That's not Michelangelo in Florence. That's not. And like, what is there in Italy other than all that? Right? They don't produce anything. I mean, if you're Italy, you want to talk about the economy, dude? If you're Italy, you can't produce your own money. You have no production. You have no energy. And there's some people in Holland, Belgium, they're going to decide your future. And they're not Italian. They're not Sicilian. They're not anything that you were or your family was. They have no interest in your culture. Okay. And you can just say, oh, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Holland, and just go down the list. This is a disaster. Absolute disaster. If you can't get into Bitcoin after just look at the European construct and go, oh my God, what are they doing, man? Okay, like literally, and poor the UK. Oh my God, piggy in the middle, man. I don't know how they get out of this. The only thing they have is the ability to produce their own funds without asking for permission from Belgium, from Holland, or wherever, The Hague.
Yeah.
That's really all the UK has, while they have, it looks like their government is going absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Locking people up for saying stuff about the flag. It's ridiculous, man.
Copycat, was the $850K donation to meet Trump worth the price? Do you foresee doing it again for future elections, or was this a one-time thing based on the circumstances?
I can't predict the future. If I think a team that I support and a thesis that I support needs fuel or financial help, I will most certainly invest in that. I see this as an investment. And now it's a very inefficient tax. Look, I'm an American, man, and I've never given money to politicians. I don't like politicians. I do not believe Donald Trump is a professional politician. I have given money to people that I would consider to be maybe professional politicians, but they may not be lifers. Like, I have a feeling that Vivek is not going to be a lifer. Congresswoman Anna Luna, I don't see her as, I think she's going to get bored after 10 years because she's smart. So I would love to have no lifers. I'm not sure about one term, but at least like, hey man, 2-3 terms, max it out. 3 terms to me would be, hey, 12 years. If you haven't made a substantial change in 12 years, you need to move on. Right? I mean, that's a long journey. I can do anything I want in 4 to 8. Do not think that it takes. Why could we possibly ever get okay with being lifetime professional politicians, especially when you have no measurements or accountability? How did we buy this? Okay. Like, when I say it like that, that has to be so clear to everyone. It's like, whoa, that is, not only do they not have any accountability, but we allow them to stay there for life. Now, Sam, I ask you, okay, if you treated a child like that and you gave a child that was 8 years old no responsibility, and they knew, oh, my children, in fact, hey, kids, no matter what you do, you're going to be billionaires. How's my kids going to turn out, dude?
Not very good.
Horrible is the answer for horrible. They're either going to hate me because they don't want me giving them shit if they're good, or they're going to be just ruined. So that's why I gave it. I don't intend on giving more money to politicians, but I feel like I've bought access to a group of people, and I offered this to the Kennedy group. I offer this to the Dems. I continue to offer it to the Democrats. Come to my home and sit down in my home and have a conversation with me. That's what all these other people were willing to do. Okay. Now, I'll just remind Copycat and anyone else listening, I could have done this directly to Mr. Trump 6 months ago and had probably a stronger connection to the Trump family than the way I did it. I went through Bitcoin specifically to support the Bitcoin industry. My investment is in Bitcoin, and it's in waking up these politicians of how important this is. And I think I have a unique way of being able to communicate this, or at least maybe in a way that is less Bitcoin centric, that may offend some people. I think this is an industry about jobs. And I think Trump doesn't need to understand blockchain or the significance of Bitcoin at a deep, deep level to grasp the opportunity for Americans and the innovative cycle we're in. He'll get that very, very quickly. And most certainly all the people he's surrounding himself, Vance, Vivek, they all understand. So I am now getting, and so is Sam. Hey, why did I invest in Sam? Because I saw the Bitcoin thing and politics and lobbying being very, very connected. So to me, it was I could have hired Como and stuck him in here and done a bunch of political stuff on who's fucking who and who's raping who. I don't want to do that, dude. Okay, that's not my deal. So I'm not going to use this media platform and have to come up with chaos. Okay, but me investing in Sam, when I get Congress people now emailing, texting us, saying, "Hey, look at this reform. What do you think?" Well, I will ask you, Copycat, was that worth the $1 million that Gary Cardone invested in? That also David Bailey put $1 million in, and the Cameron, the Winklevoss brothers put millions in. Howard Lutnick, like this is a like we were all sitting in the same room. This is now we're forming a committee. Okay, we've had nothing but attacks by the SEC, the FBI, the whoever. Okay, and they're draconian, sloppy attacks at that. They're just regulation for the sake of regulation. You don't want anybody. They're investing money in this, man. You don't think Visa's lobbying people to stop this? You are absolutely out of your mind, naive. So I would encourage people, if you're not going to build a business and employ people and do something productive for people, or go to Washington like Sam has to do from time to time and hang out with these people, or travel around like Dennis Porter. I gave Dennis Porter, what, 50 grand, Sam?
Yep.
Like, I'm trying to send us, hey, he raised another 100. He had never raised that kind of money before. Now he's raising big money. I'm really good at this. I had him on a podcast and I'm like, hey, Dennis, like, I'll match up to 50 grand, dude. Like, I don't know why people aren't helping you. Cat, if you're not willing to fly 700 hours a year, just flight time, Texas, Washington, D.C., back to Texas, back to Washington, over and over, not have a life. That guy, he works his ass off. So for me, it was like, I didn't know him very well, right? Sam, I just saw what he was doing. He's getting bills written. I'm like, shit, let's support him. So, and he's probably raised what, $1 million, nearly $1 million since then. And he's thinking about his business now. See, here's a guy that's a good regulatory lobby guy, but he's not a good, like, hey, can somebody give me some money? He's probably not even a good businessman. Okay, I'm not saying he is or he is, but it's probably not his main deal. So I was able to go on a show with very little effort and go, hey, bro, let's help you guys. And for somebody if you got $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, you can't send Dennis Porter $50. Come on, man. I guarantee you, Cap Gemini and McKinsey and Visa, okay, they're thinking in millions, dude, tens, 50s. They don't like, they're in it for the whole game. So if we don't do this, we lose. Absolutely lose.
Ice Mike Jr. at 12:11 p.m. He asked you what I thought was an interesting real estate related question. He said, "Hey Gary, I have a starter home that has appreciated 85%. I have an offer from a buyer that will net me a significant amount to put towards a home in a nicer area with nicer schools. Do I sell?"
Do I sell? This is at 12:11.
Yep.
This is the one. I believe that the vast majority of money made on real estate is made the day you buy it. If you've made an 85% return, I don't know how long that is, but if it's like a year or two, I get out of it. I'm done. I sell it, move on. You're not going to make more money on this house. In fact, unless it's done with cash, in fact, even if it is done with cash, that cash could be sitting at Bitcoin at 60 grand right this second. Okay, so think about that 85, let's say it's 100 grand. You've made 85% on that. You put 15 in, that means you're up 85 grand. That house is going to require some energy. Okay, a starter house, paint, more. It's going to require some of this money versus you taking the 100 grand, sticking it, buying a Bitcoin and a half, now at 60 G's. In the next year, do you think that 60 G's on Bitcoin or at your purchase price of 100,000, do you think that is going to outdo what you've already made on this house? And I think you're going to find once I've made that much on a house, I'm out. And my core belief is that you make all the money the moment you buy it, if you buy it right, and everything else is downhill.
Would you, because I'm wondering if he's going to sell and then buy another home, which that would be a mistake, right? The answer would be sell, rent.
If you can find another one, no, it's a starter home. I guess that means it's for you. Oh yeah, if that's a starter home for you, dude. I don't know how old you are, but I don't know why you need to own a house. That is an anchor. Okay, so if it's a starter home for yourself and you've made 85%, and you don't have a wife that's going to bang on you because she thinks you need a house. Okay. I mean, I can get into a whole thing on this bullshit. Okay. People get married young age. You know, they're thinking they're going to have sex 5-6 days a week. And what they end up having is sex 2 days a week if they're lucky, because they're working Monday through Friday if they're lucky and they're disciplined. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, Sally's converted to having sex at 2:30 in the afternoon right after a swim in the pool to, hey, Bob, can you go clean the rake? Go rake the yard up. And by the way, the roof up there, it's only 100 million degrees hot. And now you're the roof man. So this woman has acquired a lover, a roofer, a plumber. And I'm not sure many men really realize that they were buying into that. Okay. That has to stop because it's a waste of time. It's not, and it's dangerous. Guy goes up on the roof, kills himself. Now you don't have your income maker. So I think people in the last 50 years, man, have grossly undervalued their energy and their time. And they know more about a number than they do about the value of their time.
Do you still invest in blue state real estate?
I'm not a real estate investor. I don't think real estate right now is a good investment. Red, blue, white. I would not invest in a blue state. I wouldn't invest in a business in a blue state right now. I would not invest in a company in New York or California. I wouldn't buy real estate in California at any price. I think California becomes the imprisonment camp of the United States. It literally is going to become the shit hole of the United States. With every strategy, they're talking about releasing capital gains, I guess they're going to do minimum payments, and they're going to pay people $25,000 that are immigrants, and they're going to slap them all into California. Let them all go there. That's my view. Let them all go to California, and if New York wants to take them, cool. Until we have a program to assimilate these people, this is going to turn out to be a disaster. I just hope they don't come to Florida.
Amen to that.
I'm okay with people coming to Florida as immigrants, legal or illegal, as long as you're willing to go through the process now. Like, I'm not, like, I believe a lot of people end up here illegally. I'm not saying that's wrong. The way we're doing it is absolutely criminal. Okay, because someone is actually manufacturing these people to come in here now at this point, and there's no attempt for any assimilation. So if you just think it through, people when they migrate, or animals when they migrate to the richest resources with the least amount of fear and risk, right? Richest amount of resources: water, food, energy, impregnation capsules. Let's understand that is the DNA of a man, is to impregnate anything he can, okay? Like, it's just built in the DNA. So when you have millions of people moving in, it's only 8%, and they only move into 4 divisions, 4 counties of a country the size of England. This is mass consolidation, and there's no like interest in any player doing any assimilation. I think this ends badly, right? Because you are constantly in disagreement with someone because there was no interest in actually agreeing on anything in the first place. There's no base principle for this new tribe to coordinate any of their efforts. And I would say, with all the HR and the human resources and the mental wokeness that we have on this planet, okay, all the psychologists and the amount of fucking pharmaceutical mental experiments we've run in the last 100 years, you're telling me that these bright people believe that you can smash 5 cultures together and do nothing to assimilate, and that you accidentally just missed it? You're intentionally doing this, okay, to create polarization and conflict so that you can then say, hey, martial law is in force, stay the fuck in your house, and we might come and put a syringe in you if you say too much. This is where we're headed, okay? It does not stop. I know it sounds inflammatory, but this is absolutely happening, man. Okay, absolutely happening. You would not allow for 30 kids to join the private school down the street and, hey, by the way, y'all don't have to follow any of our rules. You don't even have to read our own books, okay? You don't have to read our books on math. You don't have to on history. You can bring your own books there. Like, it sounds crazy, right? But like, this is what we're doing, man. Am I wrong? Is this sound inflammatory in any way, inflammatory or accurate?
Well, and I think we saw a lot of it happen or attempt to happen back in 2020 and 2021, right? I mean, given the right circumstances, we've seen what government will try to do. And apparently, even under different circumstances, they're still going to try to do it. I think that's what we're seeing.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure. I bought 10 million shares, Mr. Potato. It doesn't matter how much I bought. I bought enough to make sure I pay attention.
Thoreau Crypto asked you, which I thought was an interesting question. He says, what is a kingmaker?
What is a kingmaker? You probably know the answer better than I do.
Well, if I were to use it in our modern context, I consider someone like RFK Jr. a kingmaker, right? Potentially, where they are someone who is able to tip the scales in balance of one person or another, right? And I think he could potentially be the kingmaker for this election cycle by getting behind Donald Trump. Right now, we'll see if I'm right about that, but it's people
who was Obama's kingmaker?
Obama's kingmaker.
Same as Kamala.
I was gonna say whatever that primary looked like, because remember Obama ran against Hillary Clinton in 2008, and Hillary Clinton was supposed to win in 2008. I forget who tipped the scales in a way to be his kingmaker, but whoever convinced him or pushed him ahead of Hillary in 2008 in the primary, that would have been his kingmaker.
Yeah. I think it's people that we don't know their names. We don't know their names, and that's why I always talk about the people in Brussels. Nobody even knows their name, dude. You Europeans, I don't understand how you're so smart and educated, yet you allow that to go on for years and years. I think, lambs to the slaughter. I mean, I'll just share it with a UK friend of mine named Roger, and he's like, lambs to the slaughter. I'm like, yeah, it's just beyond me that you would not know these 4 people who run the entire continent. Okay, you don't even know their name. You don't get a vote on them. I mean, this is ridiculous. However, we have a presidential candidate nobody voted on either.
Yeah,
That's literally sitting in office right now. I'm not sure what she's doing. I haven't heard her new policies. I have never seen anything like this in my life, dude, where someone can run for presidency and not show up to talk to the world. Wow.
and we've also seen her more than the current president. Notice how no one's talking about Biden at all. I haven't seen him in any news, any media, just completely off the radar.
Listen, I agree with my brother. I think Hillary would have been a better running mate. I would not have done this. I'd have slapped Hillary and Michelle in there, and hope that they didn't run, do the cat fight. I was hoping for that because I think it would have been really entertaining. But I don't see any scenario where what's her name wins anything. That's why I continue to say, and that was a question of one of the very first questions. I still don't think we're going to have an election. I said this 6 months ago, 3 months ago, and I'll say it now. I don't think we're going to have an election. And if I was on the other team going through this game theory and understanding the risk here, I've already gone to extreme levels to try to interfere here. Why wouldn't I go further?
Yeah. And what's interesting is, early voting starts, by the way, September 9th, right, in some states. So we are right on the cusp of, stuff really getting hot and heavy. Crypto A to Z. Hello, Gary. What is your take on rate cuts from September 2024? How do you think Bitcoin will react in your opinion? Oh, you're still muted, by the way.
Let me go handle my dogs. They're going nuts. Let's go to another question. They're
go get your dogs. I'll look through. I see Fibaswamy. Nice to see you, dude. Fibaswamy, I love how you're always in here with us. I appreciate you a lot, man. Given Bitcoin's deflationary nature and its fixed supply, how do you foresee the evolution of its role in the global economy in a scenario where central banks increasingly adopt CBDCs? That's a very good Gary question. I can give you my Sam answer is that I think we're going to just have 2 systems. I think we're going to have 2 parallel systems. I think it's very possible that you have one or multiple CBDCs throughout the world, but then you will always have Bitcoin as a competitor. It's true that maybe they can work together and work in tandem with each other, but it's also true that maybe they're just parallel, they never touch, and just 2 totally different economies. I was answering Fibaswamy's question. Given Bitcoin's deflationary nature and its fixed supply, how do you foresee the evolution of its role in the global economy in a scenario where central banks increasingly adopt CBDCs?
I think the CBDCs are inevitable. The good news is there's going to be 100 of them, 108. I don't think they're going to operate 24/7. If they don't operate 24/7, it's going to become so obvious the value of Bitcoin. So the government and the other thing, I don't think people have really thought through the destruction the CBDC market would create with everyone in between in the banking industry. I mean, you don't need JP Morgan, dude. If the Fed goes direct, you don't need JP Morgan. Do you know the battle we're going to have here? Everyone's going to start fighting over a piece of pie. This is why I just let Bitcoin do what it does. Okay. This group of people are going to eat each other, start competing with each other, just like we saw Zuckerberg do 48 hours ago. Dude. This is a big deal. This Zuckerberg thing, man. Okay. There's so many big things here. One, he pointed to the other guy going, hey, you're the bad guy. It wasn't me. I was coerced. This is the first parasite now turning on the host of the other parasites going, okay, I have to like jump fucking ship.
Yeah.
He probably has figured out, oh shit, Trump's going to win, dude. I'm in fucking trouble. Let me sacrifice my penis to the world market saying, hey, I actually, I was a little bitch, man. The CIA, the DEA, dude, the IRS was in there. Why? Why is the IRS in the Facebook still, dude? Okay, every agency was in there. If we find that's true, and it's going to come out, man, depositions after depositions, after lawsuits, after lawsuits, after lawsuits, this is, Google's going to have to answer the question, hey, what have you guys been doing? Okay, and LinkedIn and every other social network should be asked a question. Did you? One, that he's jumping ship. Two, and that he's pointing fingers. But two, they're committing to actually organizing two things that are very clear. One, most certainly there was interference on the campaign in 2020. Presidential election, there was most certainly interference. He admitted to it. Secondly, what's the deal? What if one person died because he pushed a really soft narrative, a false narrative on COVID? Just one person. And what if 50 million died that are on his platform? This is the largest platform in the world, okay? He is an absolute utility. If he was a building and he sold bandages, he would be called a hospital, man. And you couldn't treat people this way, okay? This is secure information. This is the most important information. And furthermore, they lied to these people about who the product was. Okay. This is why I will not take money from advertisers on this platform. It's like, no, dude, you guys going to have to decide, are you the product or am I the product? If I'm the product, you need to pay for it. And if you're the product, I get to sell you like a little whore, like a little bitch. I just market you out in the street. I hate to use that kind of language, but when I don't tell you that is exactly what I'm doing, dude. I'm pimping you out. And I just think that's, and without your knowledge, and then, dude, the shareholders, I mean, I'm a shareholder in Meta. If someone would have told me that they had regulatory risk because they were cooperating with government agencies, I might not have been a shareholder. Now, funny enough, their stock price didn't do anything. Okay. This is like, wow. Let me just go check Meta's stock price. This is a deal where you can launch, you can basically come out and say, hey, you committed high crimes and your stock doesn't change. That, I don't understand the market right now, okay? I don't understand why every one of these social networks aren't down, because clearly this is Pandora's box. This is now happening at such a rapid speed, man. It's the whole thing's unwinding. So it's really exciting. I think people should really pay attention to this case on Facebook and then on Telegram in France. I mean, it just became clear to every billionaire on the planet and every wealthy person, whoa, it's dangerous, dude. like, hey, what happens if I went to the airport one day and found out my passport it's got a little crimp on it, right? Like, as in, hey, this is not, it's got it's not valid, even though I thought I had a termination date on it. I have to get them, every 6 years? I think we're in a fight for freedom, guys. That's what I think. I think we're in a fight for freedom over the next 5 to 10 years, maybe less. And that is exactly why I'm on this camera. It only cost a couple $1,000s. Could have probably done it just with my Apple phone, my Apple computer. Get a microphone and start talking about something you know about, man. There's 8 billion people on the planet that need help. I'm going to maintain that this is now becoming vital for me in my education and the education of my friends and family. These platforms are better education than the education you force me to send my children to. This is much better education. So I think this is a platform that I am guaranteed as a human being the right to access proper education. Okay, transparent and clear education. And I think if we stand on that principle, and now see, I'll invest money in that lobbying effort all day long. Okay, so this is about the digital Bill of Rights, the Internet Bill of Rights, my own Bill of Rights to my own information, and if you can't share my medical information, why can you share my personal information? Okay. So this should be a platform where I can do counseling. Okay. That I can go to a community. I can go to an AA meeting if that's what I need to do. Right. I can go to church if that's what I need to do. COVID started all this. And now technology is going to drive us into a bunch of tribes and communities. I think it's really exciting. But you cannot stop me from coming here. And we cannot allow that. Okay. We cannot allow, I have somebody trying to sell me 10,000 Bitcoin. It's an unbelievable guy will not let up. We can't allow that Google charges 33% if we want to hold mass here on a Sunday. Let's say I want to open the Gary Cardone Church of Spiritual Awareness, and I do it on YouTube. They're going to take 33 cents on the dollar for every donation made. Now, how is that good for what I'm trying to do to help people? And what role are they playing in it? In fact, they played a role with the government, every agency to share information. Like this is a public company, man. It's not the CIA. I didn't do a deal with Google going, hey, you're the CIA. Okay. I did a deal with a public company that has at least some principles, man. Their business model did not suggest they were making millions, hundreds of millions, or even giving it away for free. The information about me and you. It's outrageous. Okay. Outrageous. I don't know if they pay tax on the 30 cents. Probably not, man. See, that's probably not. I pay tax on the 66, though, I guarantee.
We do have a few super chats I want to throw.
Yeah. By the way, what did we do on that? Didn't we change this to so that we could bypass? Don't send me money via Google, guys.
Yeah. So we're getting Gary. We're doing a Cash App, so you guys can start sending to Gary's Cash App, which we'll put in the YouTube link and some of his other links as well. And then we're getting him a Coinbase account specifically for this. So if you guys want to start sending us Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, you can do it all through there instead of going through beautiful and wonderful YouTube.
Well, and guys, this is really important to me. You consent or not send. I mean, I appreciate what you're doing. We're not going to do this for free for forever and ever and ever. It'll become too expensive in time and resources to provide really great data. So I'm hoping that people wake up and go, oh, wow, I could spend, this is my theory, right? You're only going to find 10 or 15 people that you would pay for education on this platform. That's it. I can't find more than 10 people, okay, for what I'm interested in and the quality. So I could sit there and go, oh, wow, if I paid $10 to 10 people, that's $1,000 a month. Okay. All of a sudden now, one, that's not a lot of money for me. $10 a month for high quality information I get in 1 hour, boom, whenever I want it, versus sending somebody to school for 4 years and they're miserable at 200 grand. Or let's do I got Netflix at $29 a month or $19 a month. Then I have to have all the other ones. Stop doing that stuff. Okay. It's trash. You've already seen it all anyway. You can buy that via YouTube for $1 if you want to watch it. You don't have to have a subscription. Plus, they're the enemy. They're the ones that are running this woke shit down your throat and up your ass. But I look at that and go, wow, now 10,000 people pay Gary Cardone $1, $3, or $10. Now I have a business, dude. Now I don't ever have to take an advertiser. I will never sell your information, dude. No one's going to have access to your information. And I don't want any of your information. That's the truth. I don't want it. But if you look at this model, this is far better than you guys being ripped into shreds over all your personal data. And they know how you think, how you act, when you masturbate, when you sleep, when you don't sleep, what your fucking blood pressure is. I wouldn't share any of that information with these people. None of it. So to me, the math is so compelling, right? This is a decentralized opportunity. We can get away from the centralized authorities, but you guys got to get off the tit. There's a time when you stop breastfeeding at the central depository, right? And it's cool for the beginning, but like now we've been on this tit for so long now, dude. We don't even know how to get off of it. And I'm telling you, the math is compelling. The math, with one Netflix subscription, how much is that? $15?
I believe
Okay.
they've gone up.
Okay, so let's call it $20. You can buy 4 people, send them $5 a month. And you're not buying them, dude. You're supporting them. Okay, so $5 a month. If there's somebody that does something cool, support them, man. Like you have to support them with fuel, though. They can't do it by themselves. Most certainly, 99 out of 100 people cannot do what I'm doing, which is paying you and paying others and taking zero money. Literally never ask for a penny. Won't take it from an advertiser. I can do this forever. I won't, but I would love a bunch of people to do this forever, like me. Everybody else wants to charge all these, hey, master plan. I don't want to do all that shit, dude. I don't want to do master camps. And I mean, I would do some really small things, but I don't want to have to fill a stadium up with people and do a rah-rah seminar, because rah-rah seminars don't work. I've been to them, dude. If you need someone to put a fire in your belly, you need to work for someone. Okay? People that need someone to put a fire in their belly will never be the leader. It's just the way it is. It's too lonely to be the leader. But working with a great leader, oh, man, it's the best thing in the whole world. With the best purpose. Like, I much prefer working for a great leader than being the great leader. It's a lot less lonely. For sure. It's a lot less lonely. So it's cool being in a tribe, man. This is why I like the Bitcoin guys. Even though they're a little crazy, I like being in a tribe. And we have a whole tribe of people against us. Really, I really believe we have like a tribe of people against us. I look at them as I probably look at them the way we looked at the Indians when we came here. And Bitcoin is our Bitcoin. We have Bitcoin as a weapon, and they've got little, bow and arrows. Now, if we're stupid, we'll mess it up.
We have a question from Junie, who gave us $2.
Thank
What does
you, Junie.
Trump what does Trump mean by crypto capital of the planet?
Well, Trump doesn't understand why we wouldn't be the leader on all innovation. So, like, for him, it's like, what? Is crypto thing's going to be big and we're only 9% of it? See, this is the way you sell it to a pro. Dude, hey, DT, we're only 9% of this. This is embarrassing, man. Fucking regulatory people have done everything they can to stop a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity from happening on our back seat, our backyard. And we're like doing everything we can to push it to London, Dubai, Singapore, China, anywhere but here. Okay. And it doesn't require him to understand blockchain. He's oh, well, got it. He understands what's happening. He probably understands what's happening better than most people because he clearly understood what was happening with social media that got him to be the president of the United States. Mr. Cuban, you young guy, you completely fucking missed it. And now you're envious that an old man saw it and not only saw it, but this is the character that's really valuable. The ability to pull the trigger, dude. He stepped down that escalator, said, I am running and you guys are going to laugh at me and I'm going to win. And he fucking whipped through 17 professional politicians like they were melted butter on a summer day with a freaking knife that was 1,000 degrees. Just professional politicians, funded like a mother, right? And ripped through them. Not once, he did it twice. Yep. Separated by 8 years. Unbelievable, okay? They tried to shoot him. He's still alive. He's a catalyst, man. He is a catalyst. Like if we really look over time in history, man, look at all these catalyst players. They weren't perfect people. They were a little weird, man. Right? Like y'all are gonna talk about me when I'm dead and go, look, the guy probably could have done more. These would be the complaints. He could have done more had he tried or been better connected. But also, I hope you guys think I was a little weird. Okay, I think weird, like if I start getting comfortable being kind of normal, I think normal is getting ready to get cried, as it has for the last 1,000 years. Normal doesn't get a benefit. You don't get premiums for being in the middle. You don't. You'll only get paid for taking risk in this world. The bold are given all the attention. And we have a bunch of people acting like white little sheep. Not even white, dude. Gray dull, no shine. You guys should be out there just getting explosive. Okay, outrageous. Share whatever the universe brought you here for. Share it on the social media site, man. What Donald Trump's doing, it should show everyone, whoa, he could do that? Anybody can do this, okay? It just takes massive sacrifice.
We have another comment / question from Hollow Man who gave us $5. Hollow Man said BTC won't pump until greater advance in blockchain apps and commercial crypto utility to drive retail adoption. Where does Web3 stand? Why so stagnant?
Why so stagnant? Web3, maybe it's not stagnant, and you guys are underestimating how long this takes. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that let's look at the whole token thing, NFTs. This is the Web3 thing, right? Let's see, for 5 years, I've heard about tokenizing real estate, the most non-fungible thing on planet Earth. And you're going to try to tokenize it. I don't think so. Not today. 5 years from now, maybe. Okay. But I just think it's early. Man, I have friends in this business. Okay. I'm not trying to smash their business, but you're not going to tokenize the entire real estate chain. It's too complex. It's a cartel. Okay. It's very complex. compensation structure that ensures that it doesn't get unwound. So you're going to have to unwind it pieces at a time, or do it through regulation, which is, hey, we got to get rid of these people that are charging 7%. It's outrageous. It is outrageous. But I don't see anyone, you need 50 states to do it. So it's not happening. Unless the government came in and said, hey, look, this is no longer competitive. The real estate agencies are acting as a cartel, as a complex oligopoly, which is very, very complex to break up. They're the most complex to break up in the world. In fact, the duopoly probably is more complex, but the oligopoly, you need somebody to break ranks. The cool thing is that's what's happening. X is going to break ranks. PayPal will break ranks. The energy guys, funny enough, man, this is probably not tangential to this gentleman's question on Web3. Nuclear energy companies are going to leapfrog fossil fuel players. That's my prediction. They're going to get into Bitcoin faster and heavier than the fossil fuel guys.
Really fast. Because they have a larger need? Because they have a larger need
yes.
Because of the constant voltage?
See the need. You're going to see people come into Bitcoin through need. Michael Saylor knew his business was getting ready to get destroyed. I had a guy here for 2.5, 3 hours last night. He's like, dude, he's been watching me do this for 20 years. And he's like, I could never do what you do. Like, you turn off one business and then you turn another on, like with such volume, and you're like relentless. He also said, hey, look, you're taking such a big position here. Then you're vocal. Why would you be so vocal? And I just looked at the guy. I'm 66. He's 50, 48. I looked at the guy and said, dude, because you're not going to do it. Because you're a little baby. Okay. You're so scared they're going to come and take your shit, that because you're in debt up to your eyeballs, well, I have to do this, man. Someone did this for us. So there's not nearly enough people putting themselves out there and standing up for what they believe in. The people that are standing up for what they believe in are feeding your children, my children, and our employees a load of shit. It's the employees too. Like, where do you think these employees get their attitude? Okay, from HR, man. Okay, from the teachers, from the consultants at school. Like my kids have this psychologist. People show up and talk to them because they can't talk to their parents. And what are these people feeding them? Oh, I'm 27, and if you're feeling homosexual today, then you should go out with someone. Go suck someone's dick. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, like at 11 years old, dude, there's something fucking seriously wrong with that. Okay, like, it's to say that it's okay, there's something massively wrong with it. And to not tell kids that every kid on the planet has thought that, and it does not make you an animal, right? Every thought I've ever had does not mean I need to exercise it. And today we have 27-year-olds that seem to be like, hey, wait, shit, dude, if you're feeling it, you need to go do it, right? Why is that happening? Because the 27-year-old kids, their parents, by the way, they weren't around. They weren't around like my mom. My mom sacrificed her 40 years of her life, man, so that Grant and I would have bologna sandwiches or pork chops at home. We at least had enough, right, that we weren't hungry, so that we could study. And if we didn't study, it was down to us being a loser. And she'd kick our ass and beat us, and eventually would throw us out of the house at 19 or 20. I don't see people doing that anymore, man. I see people living in their houses till they're 28, and it's like, bro, you got to get out of the house. And shame on mom and dad. If mom and dad did that to me, I got to tell you, mom and dads, if you did that to me, you know what I'm really saying to my children? You're not confident enough to survive on your own without me. You're 24, but you are not. I don't even have enough faith in you that I can kick you to the curb and you can now fly like a bird. I don't see eagles like babying their babies, dude.
Yeah.
Right? They kick them out of the damn nest and let them fly.
We do have two more super chats besides the one you just clicked, and then we do have to get ready to wrap up so you can make your
Yes,
next
sir.
call. So Jimmy gave us $100, and Jimmy said the only thing that will unify this country is an event to the scale or greater than that of September 11th. The year following September 11th, it was amazing to be American. Let's go eat some crawfish this spring, Gary. Your ArcLight guy, BGT Jimmy.
Who is this? Jimmy, my ArcLight guy.
I don't know, but Jimmy, you can always reach out to us on Twitter.
Jimmy, I got to figure out who you are. That's funny, dude. The ArcLight guy. He's talking about. I spent 2-ish years with ArcLight Capital in 2008 after the financial crisis. The Wall Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Wall Street was dumping people, dude. And I became very illiquid. That's when I started the credit card business. And I had no liquidity, none. I had real estate with Grant, and we were like, oh my God, dude, like I can't even buy anything. I have no liquidity. And went to work for these guys. You couldn't get a job on Wall Street for anything. I got a job. Like literally, I flew there, met with Rob Turner, who was the CEO of the company, and said, hey, I'll work for free, dude. No problem. 3 months later, I was getting paid. I saw some of the coolest deals. So Jimmy, I'll have to do some research on who you are exactly. But love the idea of the crawfish. Dude, let's do the crawfish. I'll tell you what. If you bring the crawfish here, I'll pay for them and I'll throw the party here. How's that? I just need somebody to bring them here. We need about probably a couple of hundred, probably 400 pounds of crawfish for the parties I throw. We need to, hey, Sam, we need to focus on that, by the way. We probably need to do that by September, October, before Halloween. All right, let's do one for Halloween.
I do it for
Halloween party at Cardone's house. That's it, dude. It's pre-presidential election, and it's pre-Bitcoin explosion, I think. Woo! Hollywood crypto party, dude. Halloween crypto political party.
There you go.
It. Maybe everybody could bring their pitchforks because I think we're going to need them. That'll get one somewhere.
We got one last question. Justin Durand, what are your thoughts about the incoming recession? Do you think all the markets top in 2025? Then we have a recession. What's your outlook? And then we'll close off with that.
Say the question again, please.
What are your thoughts about the incoming recession? Do you think all the markets top in 2025? Then we have a recession. What is your outlook?
Who's president? Trump's president. Asset values are going to scream like a freaking rocket. And if the wicked witch of the West gets in, I don't know. I mean, who knows, bro? Who knows? They're going to print money like you've never seen before. I don't think interest rates need to get massively crushed here. I don't think you need to lower interest rates hugely. And I don't think, most certainly, you don't need to do both. You don't need to get on a reduction in interest rates binge and then also produce money, print money, but they will most certainly print money. And they're doing it everywhere else. The Fed no longer has control of this. They have lost total control. So I think it's actually a joke that anybody in Wall Street actually thinks they play any role in here other than to fuck it up. I don't think they can do anything constructive. How wild is that, right? Most certainly they can't hurt crypto because they've done everything they could to sideline it, which is another reason to get very bullish Bitcoin. Because whoa, they've really gone out of their way to kill it. With less regulation, America will be fine. With more regulation, we're done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Gary, that's
Okay,
all the
pal.
time we
Well,
had.
can I say that I would encourage people to go out and be nice to someone today and not take any credit for it? It's a really cool life hack. I'm going to keep suggesting this because if we could imagine if we could get 1,000 or 2,000 or 15,000 people every day to do something nice on this planet, I'm willing to go to my grave and say, and somebody say, hey, I saw Gary Cardone do that, and I thought that was a good thing. That would be a huge compliment for me at my death. Oh, well, that was a cool little cost nothing, man. Cost nothing to be a nice person. So I'll leave it with that, Sam.
All right, guys. Well, we will have our Twitter Spaces today at 5. Make sure you tune in. Make sure if you're not following and subscribing to Gary, do that now so you can keep up to date on all the lives that we're doing. Thank you guys as always. We will talk to you tomorrow and this evening.
Peace.